Over 170 Tibet supporters from all over the world have gathered in Brussels, the capital of Belgium, today to discuss the ever-deteriorating human rights situation inside Tibet and to devise new campaign strategies and plans to bring Tibet to the international community's attention. In a span of 3 days, the conference will witness the Tibet supporters deliberate on topics related to Tibet, ranging from current situation inside Tibet to political advocacy and support for Tibet, prospects and challenges of global advocacy against the Chinese Communist Party, and plan campaign strategies on 2 core issues that are current human rights and environment situation in Tibet, and resolution of Sino-Tibet conflict with dual target of strengthening political support for Tibet and reaching out to like-minded groups and movements. Prominent Tibet supporters in Europe such as Mykola Peksa, the president of Tibet Interest Group in the European Parliament, Dr. Hans-Gert Pöttering, the former president of the European Parliament, Senator Eustache Bruno, the chair of French Parliamentary Group for Tibet, are addressing the conference along with the leaders of the Central Tibetan Administration. Sikyong Pemba Tsering delivers the keynote address, while the Speaker of the Tibetan Parliament in Exile, Khenpo Sonam Tempel, and Kalun Norzin Dolma of Department of Information and International Relations will address the valedictory session of the conference. His Holiness the Dalai Lama sends in his message of greetings to the participants of the 9th International Conference of Tibet Support Groups. Kalun Norzin Dolma of Department of Information and International Relations reads out His Holiness's message during the inaugural session.
No matter how powerful the People's Republic of China becomes, it is important that China must earn the trust and respect of the international community in building a peaceful world. Despite undergoing great difficulties, the faith and aspiration of our people, the majority of whom are inside Tibet, have remained undiminished. I am confident that our friends and supporters of Tibetans will continue to assist and support our leadership of the Central Tibetan Administration in its efforts to fulfill the aspirations of Tibetans. Their heartfelt wish is to live in freedom and dignity. As the Tibetan saying goes, there will be a time when the sun emerges from behind the clouds. With my prayers and good wishes, signed the Dalai Lama, February 19, 2024. Thank you.
The International Conference of Tibet Support Groups brings together all Tibet support groups under one roof on a common path in strengthening the Tibet advocacy around the world and consolidating efforts to resolve Tibet-China conflict through dialogue. In the 90s, when the Tibetan freedom movement was entering a vital new phase that requires new initiatives, the first International Conference of Tibet Support Groups was held in Dharamshala in March that year in order to strategize the Tibetan freedom movement in achieving a great political headway through coordinated efforts of both Tibetans in exile and the Friends of Tibet around the world. His Holiness the Dalai Lama expressed a firm commitment in struggling for freedom through non-violence and peaceful means, while appreciating the preciousness of support from the Friends of Tibet as Tibetans pass through a difficult period.
From our side, we're fully committed to middle-wave approach, eventually mutually agreeable solution we will find. This is our belief, this is our sort of commitment, no change.
Today, there are more than 250 Tibet support groups who are working actively towards restoring freedom in Tibet. Secretary Karma Chuing of Department of Information and International Relations, Central Tibetan Administration says, many notable achievements with regard to furthering the cause of Tibet in the international arena has stemmed from the adoption of declarations and action plans in the past international conferences of Tibet support groups. This is the 9th International Conference of Tibet support groups, and it is being held from 22nd to 25th February 2024. This time, the conference is being convened by Tibet Interest Group of the European Parliament, co-hosted by the Belgium-based International Campaign for Tibet, and facilitated by the Office of Tibet Brussels and the Department of Information and International Relations, Central Tibetan Administration.
look down and lonely, always searching for home. Let's open our warm hearts, let's give them love and compassion. For the accused and blame, always searching for justice. Let's raise our just hand, let's blow them the wind of fairness. Hand in hand we stand, shoulder to shoulder we march, heart to heart we reach, for peace, for justice, for freedom. Shoulder we march, heart to heart we reach, for peace, for justice, for freedom.
And silenced, always searching for truth. Let's hear their silent calls, let's whisper them the words of wisdom.
For the caged and confined, always searching for freedom. Let's wipe away the tears, let's take them to the island of freedom. Hand in hand we stand, shoulder to shoulder we march, heart to heart we reach, for peace, for justice, for freedom. Shoulder to shoulder we march, heart to heart we reach, for peace, for justice, for freedom. Hand in hand we stand, shoulder to shoulder we